So again, this is my presentation of learning. I started by just looking at the syllabus and kind of going through, reminding me of the, you just leave it there, I'll walk in and out.
Okay.
Reminding me of the readings that we went through as well as the activities we had. And these were some takeaways I had about the process. The self-reflection piece I thought was very insightful. The inventories provided me some new insights, but overall, it confirmed existing knowledge I had about myself, because we've done this in a lot of the other classes that we've had as well. The standards for superintendents, I think, was eye-opening for me. Just the amount of standards, but much less the specifics about health and wellness like we talked about today. The consultation memo and the development of the administrative team provided me definitely an opportunity to self-evaluate and develop some areas of focus and growth that I need to work on moving forward. Organizational structure, something you don't think about how important the people you work with day in, day out are to you. For me, the it is trust. You have to be able to trust the people that you work with, not just trust in getting the job done or trust that you're going to do what I ask you to do, but that they have your back. They're in for the best interest. They're on the same page with you, with your goals and your visions. And Dr. Preston had a good perspective about coming in. She had to work and promote and coach those people. Some pearls of wisdom. I don't know why it advanced, but it did. You know, look at the job description, find ways to fill in the gaps. That was valuable information. Superintendents get fired for finance and romance. You know, valuable again. I thought this was interesting. Don't mess up a district. Don't mess a district up in a way that you cannot recover. That they cannot recover financially or otherwise. Just the little pearls about dealing with the board was very valuable as well. 40% of a superintendent's time is with board's operations. And the number one thing I take away, and I'm going to probably use it this year, is I'm going to trust you, but I got to verify. Trust but verify. The leadership tree, I know y'all all talked about that. That was important as well. But going back to trust and relationships. And I found these quotes. One was on LinkedIn, but the other one, the best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. And then this is kind of more in the situation I feel I'm in, kind of place to that. Leaders who do not listen will eventually be surrounded by people who have nothing to say. So, you know, that perspective is so true. If you keep offering ideas and you keep offering perspectives and they're never taken or acted upon in some form or fashion, or even discussed, you eventually get to where I'm not going to say anything, I'm just going to go on. And for me as a leader, I try to have an open door. I want to do that as well. And one of my mentors taught me that surveys are good because they can help justify actions in the future. We can say, you know, we surveyed the staff, a majority of staff said X, Y, Z, this is why we're moving forward with this process or this this form of action there. If there's not trust, it does make your leadership less effective, if you think about it. If you're having to go back and follow up on people, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? You're kind of doubling your efforts in regards to that. And again, part of trust is listening to the questions and concerns and being responsive. And the hard part is, just like on the surveys Dr. Aidman shared with us, sometimes you're going to have dissenting opinions about perspectives. And I would rather know those than not know them. That way I can you know, frame my next steps. Lastly, they talk about different points of view. As a principal, you're 5,000-10,000 feet up, but as a superintendent, your scope is just so broad to have that 30,000 foot view, but providing support. You're not so far away and disconnected, you don't understand or have knowledge of what's going on, but you have systems in place and you're able to monitor, provide additional support, and collect evidence along the way of your progress. The other thing they talked about as a superintendent is having at least a quarterly update or quarterly evaluation, so you have time to respond and fix things that need to be repaired. I couldn't imagine getting to the end and realizing, hey, that's something I could have easily fixed, but now it's being attributed as a detriment to myself. The rhetorical questions: does there need to be additional support provided for this? What evidence do you have of your progress? Are you collecting that? Can you answer a question about programs and structure if asked by the board, community, or staff? I've been in unfortunate situations where I've tried to have conversations with senior leaders and they have no clue what I'm talking about. And it's something I feel like they should have a general knowledge and understanding of, and questions should be able to be answered quickly instead of, oh, I'll have to get back to you on that. So that's my takeaways.